Okay. So in the last lecture, I discussed about the increase of entropic process. Okay. Today I am going to discuss about the TDS equation. So if you remember when I discussed about the energy balance, you can write energy balance in a differential form. So that is the delta Q. Okay. Here I assume that the process is an internally reversible process. Okay. Minus delta W for internally reversible process. Okay. Is equal to, I have neglected the kinetic energy and potential energy, so it is equal to the du. Okay. So what the assumptions here I have considered that the process is the internally reversible process. Okay. Internally reversible process, and neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay. Neglecting kinetic energy and potential energy. So you know that another form of energy. Okay. So for internally reversible process, you know that delta Q is equal to TDS. This is equal to the TDS. Okay. And for the closed systems, if you consider, then it is the PDV. Okay. PDV. So what you will get? You will get that TDS is equal to du plus PDV. Okay. So here the unit is the kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule. Okay. When you divide by the mass, I mean you consider the a specific entropy and a specific internal energy and a specific volume. So you can write here T ds is equal to du plus p dv. Okay. So here it's the entropy, internal energy, and volume. This one is the specific entropy, a specific internal energy, and a specific volume. So here each terms having the unit kilojoule per kg. Okay. So this is called as the first TDS relations. So here you can see that TDS is equal to du plus pdv. This relation is known as the first TDS relation. Okay. And you know that H enthalpy is equal to internal energy plus flow energy. H is equal to U plus PV. Okay. So when you differentiate, what you will get? You will get that DH is equal to DU. Okay. Plus PDV plus VDP. Okay. So you can see that this terms du plus pdv is equal to what? TDS. Okay, from first TDS relation. So you can substitute here. So you will find that dh is equal to TDS plus VDP. Okay. So you can write that TDS is equal to DH minus VDP. So this is called as the second TDS relation. So here you can see that temperature, entropy, internal energy, pressure, and volume all are the properties. Okay. So they are a property relations. Therefore, it is independent of the type of the process. What is the meaning that I when I derived these equations, I assume that internally reversible process. But you can see that equation this one all are the properties. Means temperature is property, entropy is property, internal energy is also property, pressure and volume. Okay, so it doesn't depends on the path, it depends only on the states, means initial and final states. Okay, so that's why it's written that the TDS relations similarly here in means enthalpy is also a property. Okay, so the TDS relations are valid for reversible and irreversible processes and for both the open and closed systems. Okay, so this relations is independent of the process. It is valid for both reversible or irreversible process. Okay, and also for the open and closed system. So you can apply these relations for both the closed system and the open system. Okay, so this is the TDS relations. Okay, now we need to find the entropy change of liquid or solid in differential form. Okay, so here from the first TDS relations, you know that TDS is equal to du plus P dV. Okay. So in case of the solid and liquid, you know that dV equal to 0. I'm talking about the for the liquid or solid. Okay. So dV equal to 0 in that case. Okay. And you know that Cp is equal to Cv is equal to C in case of the solid and liquid. So you can write that ds is equal to du by t. Okay, and then you can substitute C into dt by t. Okay, so now when you integrate, you will find that entropy change during a process S2 minus S1 is equal to integration 1 to 2. You know that a specific heat is a function of temperatures. That's why here it's written that C is a function of temperatures dt by t. Okay, if you assume that C is a constant, okay, or you have taken average value between the T1 plus means C at a T1 plus C at a T2 divided by 2. So that is the average value. So this one I have considered as the average. Okay, so you can. So this is a represent the C average. So this one. Okay. So it is coming outside of the integration. You have considered the average value of the specific heat, and then you integrate. You will find that natural logarithm of T2 by T1. Okay. Then, if you want to find the entropy change of an ideal gas, okay. So again, you can write. You know that from here, TDS is equal to du plus P dV. Okay. You divide both sides by the T, and in case of the ideal gas, you know that du is equal to Cv into dt. Okay, and Pv is equal to RT. So you can substitute this value. So you know that ds for the ideal gas. Okay, the entropy change of the ideal gas. So ds is equal to what? Du by T plus P by T into dV. Okay, so for ideal gas, you know that du is equal to Cv dt. Okay, and Pv is equal to RT. So P is equal to what? P by T is equal to, it is a R by V. So when you substitute this value here, you will get this expressions. ds is equal to Cv dt by T plus R into dV by V. Okay. Similarly, if you use the second TDS relations, means this one, and divide both sides by the T, what you will find that? So ds is equal to dH by T, okay, minus V by T into dP. Okay, and you know that for ideal gas, dH is equal to what? dH is equal to Cp dt. Okay, and V by T is equal to what? R by P. So when you substitute this value here, okay, so you will find that ds is equal to Cp dt by T minus R dp by P. Okay. Now again you can here Cv and Cp is also a function of temperature. So you can take the average value, okay, and then you can integrate. So when you integrate the entropy change of ideal gas during the process, you will find that S2 minus S1 is equal to average of the specific heat at constant volume, natural logarithm of T2 by T1 plus R. Here R is the gas constant, not a universal gas constant. Okay, R is the gas constant, and you know that gas constant is equal to universal gas constant divided by the molecular weight. So M. So R into natural logarithm of V2 by V1. And if you are using this relation, this one, if you are integrating this one, you will find that S2 minus S1 is equal to average value of a specific heat at constant pressure into natural logarithm of T2 by T1 minus R into natural logarithm of P2 by P1. Okay. And you know that during the isentropic process, entropy is a constant. Okay. So first you substitute this value. I'm talking about the isentropic process of ideal gas. Okay. So I am using this one. So this terms become the zero. You know that entropy is constant. Okay. So when you rearranging these terms, this one, what you will find that you will find that natural logarithm of T2 by T1, okay, plus R by Cv. I have divided Cv on both sides. Okay, so R by Cv into natural logarithm of V2 by V1 equal to 0. Okay, so when you rearranging these terms, you will find that natural logarithm of T2 by T1 is equal to natural logarithm of V1 by V2, okay, raised to power R by Cv. If you remember, R is equal to Cp minus Cv, okay, Cp minus Cv, and K is equal to K is the specific heat ratio, that is the Cp by Cv, okay. So you substitute this value here, you divide both sides, you need a R by Cv, na? So R by Cv is equal to Cp by Cv minus 1, and this value is equal to K, so it is a K minus 1. Okay, so that's why here you can write that T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power K minus 1. Okay, that is for the ideal gas. Remember that I am deriving these equations for the ideal gas. Okay. Similarly, you can use the second one. So these terms become the 0. Okay. And similarly, you will do the mathematical calculations. You will find that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1. Okay. Raised to power K minus 1 by K. When you are using this equation and simplifying, similarly like first one, okay, so you will find that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to power K minus 1 by K. So you see that left hand side of both the equations are the same. Okay, so you will find that P2 by P1 raised to power K minus 1 by K, okay, and that is equal to the V1 by V2, sorry, V1 by V2 raised to power K minus 1. Okay, so that's why it's here written that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to power K minus 1 by K is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power K minus 1. Okay. Remember that these equations I have derived for the isentropic process, means entropy is constant, S is equal to constant. Okay. And for the ideal gas, if it is a polytropic process, then it is the N, not and N is not a Cp by Cv. Okay, remember that. N is not a Cp by Cv. Here K, that is the specific heat ratio, that is the Cp by Cv. Okay. N is called as the polytropic index. So during the polytropic process of ideal, you can write that for the polytropic process, it's a T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1, N minus 1 by N is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power N minus 1. Okay, but N is not equal to the Cp by Cv. So this equation is valid for the isentropic process of ideal gas. Okay. Next, you remember that I have used for the internally reversible process is equal to PdV. I will ask this question to roll number 5126. Roll number 5126, Anant Vinayak. Roll number 5541, Subham Deepak.
Yes, sir.
Can we use this formula for the open system to find the work?
No, sir.
Why?
Because in open ETV. Because for open systems, sir, formula for work done is minus VdP.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this formula is valid for the closed system if you want to, and this one is called as the boundary work. Okay, so remember that this formula is used, it is known as the boundary work. Okay, so means the volume is changing, then you are able to find. But open system is also called as the control volume, where volume is constant. Okay, mass entering and mass leaving. So for the open systems, you are using, that is also valid for the reversible process, as your friend told that minus, this is integration, you can use the integration, minus VdP. Okay. So this formula is used for the open systems to find the work. Okay. And this one is the for the closed systems. So remember that this one is valid for the closed system. Integration PdV. Okay, it is also known as the boundary work, and this one is for the open system is equal to minus VdP. Okay, so let's see how to get these equations minus VdP. So I'm using the differential form of the steady flow energy equation, that you know that delta Q reversible, okay, minus delta W reversible is equal to dH, change in enthalpy, plus change in kinetic energy dKE, plus dPe, change in potential energy. Okay, and you know that these terms delta Q reversible is equal to TdS. Okay, and from the second TdS relation, you know that TdS is equal to dH minus VdP. Okay, so when you substitute this value, you will find that dH minus VdP minus delta W for here the subscript I have written REV means for the reversible process. Okay, REV means for the reversible process is equal to DH plus DKE plus DPE. Okay, so DH cancel. So what you will get that? You will find that delta W reversible, okay, is equal to minus VDP minus DKE minus DPE. Okay, so if you neglecting, if you find that net work done, so what you will do, you will integrate this one. So you will find that during the process, suppose from process 1 to 2, okay, so you can write REV minus integration 1 to 2 VDP. Okay, you can, when you, it is a property, so you can directly write the change, you can convert the differential into the difference form. So delta KE, that is the change in kinetic energy, and this is the change in potential energy. Okay, so if you neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy, what you will find that REV is equal to minus integration 1 to 2 VDP. Okay, so its unit is here V the specific volume. Okay, so the unit is a kilojoule per kg, because I am finding the net work done per unit mass. Okay, now what do you understand from these equations? If you see, if V is very large, then you need means work done is high. Okay, either it is consuming more work or producing more work. Okay, so if you remember, so so if you want to means get more work from the turbine, what happens that the specific volume will be very large. Okay, and you know that a specific volume is inversely proportional, means inverse of the density. Okay, so if you want to produce the more work, what you will do, you will increase the specific volume. Okay, and in case of the compressors, our objective is to minimize the work consumption. So what is the, so at that times we need a very small volume of the specific volume. Okay, so in case of the turbine, which is the work producing device, we are always try to keep the large value of the specific volume. So we will get, you can see that W is directly proportional to the V. Okay, so you can say that in case of the turbine, which is the work, the specific volume as large as possible. Okay, and in case of the work consuming device, where we need to minimize the work input, for example compressor. Okay, so at that time the value of the specific volume is as small as possible. Okay, and you should remember that this equations is, what are the assumptions I have considered? That I assume that reversible or internally reversible process. Okay, another is that neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy. I have neglected these two terms. Okay, so if there is the value is very high, then you can't neglect these terms, you can't use this one. So whenever you are solving or you are using the equation, you should remember that under which assumptions this equation is valid. Okay, you can't use this W is equal to minus VDP for the irreversible process, because this one is valid only for the reversible process. Okay, and also neglecting the kinetic energy and the potential energy. Okay, now in case of the incompressible fluid, you know that V is a constant, so it is coming outside of this. Okay, and for example, here I have considered the nozzle. Okay, so nozzle is not producing any work, you know that. Okay, so this W is becomes the 0. Okay, and I assume that fluid is the incompressible fluid, so V is coming outside. So what is this? You can integrate this one. So you will find that minus V into P2 minus P1. Okay, and this is the minus change in kinetic. So it is already 0, so I can use the plus sign here. So it is the V2 square minus V1 square by 2 plus G into Z2 minus Z1. Okay. So if you remember, this equation is nothing, it is the Bernoulli equations. Okay. So it is developed, this equation is known as the Bernoulli equation. BERNOULLI, Bernoulli equation. Okay. So this is the Bernoulli equation, and it is developed for an internally reversible process, and thus is applicable to an incompressible fluid that involve no irreversibility. You can see that means there are various factors which responsible for the process is irreversible. Okay. So for example, friction. So here there is no friction. Okay, and there is no shock waves. And here I assume that the fluid is the incompressible fluid. Okay, so this equation is valid, developed for an internally reversible process, and thus is applicable to incompressible fluid that involve no irreversibility. Okay, so always remember that why we need to study the reversible process, because reversible process give you the maximum work produced by the device, and in case of the work consuming device, means we will supply the minimum work input. Okay, so in case of the reversible process, the work producing device produce the highest work, and work consuming device take a minimum work input. Okay, or in actual process, this work producing device produce the less work than the if device work on the reversible process. Okay, similarly, in case of the work consuming device, actual work consuming device get a more work input than the device work on the reversible process. Okay, so to measure this deviations, we are using the one efficiency that is called as the isentropic efficiency or adiabatic efficiency. Okay, so the isentropic or adiabatic efficiency, which is the measure of the deviation of the actual process from the corresponding idealized one. Okay, for example, the isentropic process. Okay, so isentropic efficiency or adiabatic efficiency is nothing, it is a measure of the deviation of actual processes from the corresponding idealized one. Okay, so here I have considered three steady flow devices, which is the adiabatic. I assume that there is no heat transfer between the device and to the surroundings. So it is adiabatic, there is no heat transfer. Okay, so first one I have considered that the turbine. Okay, so in case of the turbine, you can define the isentropic efficiency. The isentropic efficiency of a turbine is defined as the ratio of the actual work output of the turbine to the work output that would be achieved if the process between the inlet state and the exit pressure were isentropic. Okay, so here you can see that I have defined that isentropic efficiency of the turbine, that is eta T is equal to the ratio of the actual turbine work divided by the isentropic turbine work. Okay, And you know that there is always the increase of the entropy during the actual process. In isentropic process, the entropy is constant. That's why H2S is equal to S1. Okay, but here H2A is greater than H2S. Okay, or that is equal to the S1. Okay, you can see that. So it is always greater. So this one is measure the irreversibility. Okay. Here, if you remember, when I discussed about the energy balance for a different steady flow device, so if neglecting the kinetic energy and the potential energy, you can write the W S is equal to H1 minus H2S. Okay. What assumptions I have considered here? It is the adiabatic process. Okay. And then neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy. So I know that work produced by the turbine is equal to the change in enthalpy, and that is the H1 minus H2S. These things I discussed when I when I apply the steady flow energy equations for the different devices. Okay. So this vertical distance, you can see that this vertical distance, this one, is the net work produced by the turbine during the isentropic process, and which is lower than, which is higher than the actual process. You can see that this is the actual work produced by the turbine. Okay, so here I told you that this actual turbine produce less work than the during the isentropic process. Okay, so WA less than WS. So now you can substitute this value, and WA is equal to what? Again, you can apply its energy balance. So you can apply here H1 minus H2A. And energy balance is valid for any process and any system. So you can apply it. So here what you will find that H1 minus A divided by the H1 minus H2S. Okay. And you know that efficiency is always less than 1, means it's less than 100%. Now you can see that numerator is lower than the denominator, that is the WS. Okay, so its value is always less than 1, means the efficiency, when you are talking about the efficiency, its value is always less than 1. Next device which I considered here, that is the compressor or pump. You know that a compressor is used for the gas and pump is used for the liquid. So the isentropic efficiency of a compressor is defined as the ratio of the work input required to raise the pressure of a gas to a specified value in an isentropic manner to the actual work input. Okay, so this one is the for the compressor, this second graph. Okay, again you can see that during the isentropic process H2S is equal to S1, and the process is not going like this. Again it's violating the increase of entropy process. Okay, that's why here the curve of the actual process on the right hand side, not on the left hand side. Okay, so this one is the wrong because it's violating the increase of entropy process. Now you can see that here the entropy has been increased during the actual process in the compressor. Okay, so H2A. Again H2A is greater than the S1, or H2S is equal to S1. Okay. Now here you can see that W during the isentropic process, I told you that the vertical distance on the HS diagram represents the what? This is the isentropic compressor work. This one. This is the isentropic compression work, and compressor is a work consuming device. So during the isentropic process, it gets the minimum work input. Okay, and this vertical, this one, during the actual process WA. Okay. So here you can write the eta C is equal to WA by WS. I will ask this question to roll number 5129. 5129 Vishal Uday.
Yes, sir.
This formula is correct or wrong, which I have written here?
For compressor.
Yeah, for compressor.
Wrong, sir.
Why?
W actual should be down.
But in this case, eta T, I have written that WA by WS.
Yes, if sir, turbine is energy generating device in which the isentropic turbine output is out maximum, but in the compressor, actual compression work is maximum as compared to isentropic compressor work.
Okay, so here you can also see that WA is higher than the WS. In the graph also you can see that, na? The length,
Yes, sir.
vertical distance, WA is the greater than WS, and I told you that efficiency is always less than 1. So
One.
this formula is the wrong. What is the correct one? Correct one is that eta C is equal to WS divided by the WA. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here also it's written that the isentropic efficiency of the compressor is equal to isentropic compressor work divided by the actual compressor work. Okay, now you can substitute. You know that if you're neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy, you can write that this one is the H1 minus H2S minus H1. Okay, so this value is equal to the H2S, means WS is equal to what? WS is equal to H2S minus H1. So H2S minus H1 divided by the actual work. What is the actual work? H2A minus H1. Okay. So when I derived this, when I find this efficiency, I assume that neglecting the kinetic energy and potential energy, and compressor is insulated, means there is no heat transfer. Okay. So then this equation is valid, and it comes from the steady flow energy equations. So you know that eta C is equal to H2S minus H1 divided by the H2A minus H1. Okay, and its value is always less than 1. Okay. Next device which I considered, that is the nozzle. So you know that what is the use of the nozzle? To increase the kinetic energy at the outlet. Okay. So the isentropic efficiency of a nozzle is defined as the ratio of the actual kinetic energy of the fluid at the nozzle outlet to the kinetic energy value at the outlet of an isentropic nozzle for the same inlet state and the exit pressure. Okay. So here again you can see that this is the isentropic process in the nozzle. Okay. So here you are getting the highest kinetic energy. Okay, this one, this distance. Okay, at the outlet, and during the actual process, again it is not going on this side. So you can see that H2A, this one is measure of the irreversibility. If you remember that I discussed these things when I discuss TS diagram. So this is the measure of the irreversibility, and it says that H2A is greater than H2S is equal to S1. Okay, so again you can write that, and when you apply the steady flow energy equations, you will find that H1 is equal to H2A plus V2A square by 2. Okay, H2 plus V2 square by 2. Okay, so you can write like this, V2 square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2. Okay. Similarly, you can write as a V2S by 2, V2S square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2S. Okay. So when I discuss about this one, eta n, what is the formula? It's written that it is the actual kinetic energy at the nozzle exit to the isentropic kinetic energy at the nozzle exit. Okay, so it is V2A square by 2, that is the kinetic energy, okay, divided by the V2S square by 2. Okay, and you know that this value is equal to V2A square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2, and this is the 2S, and V2A square by 2 is equal to H1 minus H2S. So now you can substitute this one. You will find that H1 minus H2A. Here you can give the H2A. Okay, divided by the H1 minus H2S. Okay, I will ask this question to roll number 3536. 3536, Omkar.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Its value is less than 1, greater than or equal to 1. Which one is correct?
H1 minus H2A is less than H1 minus H2S. Then its value will be less than which value you are asking? Efficiency of
efficiency.
Isentropic.
Efficiency of
less than 100%.
Okay, yeah. So here you can also see that from the diagram, this vertical distance, means during the isentropic process, you are getting the maximum kinetic energy. Okay, means maximum velocity than the actual process. Okay, you can see that here. So it's means here again the numerator is lower than the denominator and its value is less than 1. Okay, so this 2 is wrong. Its value is always less than 1. Okay, so remember that isentropic, if you have any confusion, you can see that a length. Okay, so a smaller length on the numerator side and the larger length on the denominator, and its value is always less than 1. Okay, so here in case of the turbine and a compressor, this vertical distance represents the work done. Okay, and horizontal distance measure the irreversibility. Okay, similarly in the nozzle, this vertical distance measure the kinetic energy. Okay, and horizontal distance measure the irreversibility. Okay, so you should remember this formula, which I will use when I discuss when I consider the efficiency. Okay, if it deviates from the isentropic expansion or compression process. Next one is that entropy balance. It is the same like if you remember the conservation of money I discussed. Okay, so these things, what is this? This is the deposit. It is the entropy entering. Suppose you have the account, bank account, which is a saving account. Okay, so you are depositing the money. Okay, so this here it's representing the entropy transferred. Means you are depositing money to your account. So it is the entropy transfer. Okay, this S out is the withdraw. This S out represent the withdraw, money withdraw from your account. Okay, so it is the entropy leaving the systems. Okay, and this one is that interest given by the bank. Okay, so it is the entropy generation. If you remember, when I discuss energy, I have written that energy in minus energy out, and there is no energy generation or energy, there is nothing called as energy generation, that is equal to the your saving. Okay, so here the saving is your change in entropy within the systems. This is your saving. This one is the deposit, this one is the withdraw, this is the interest given by the bank, that is the entropy generation, and this is your saving. Okay, So this one is valid
Sir?
for any. Yes, sir.
Sir, yesterday you said that there is nothing like entropy conservation. So, sir, how is this conservation different from entropy balance? Because it resembles the same as energy conservation equation. Because here we can see
I
entropy.
just in case of
here
yeah.
Okay, sir, I was asking because here we can see entropy in entropy out and entropy generation, same as we see in in this energy conservation. So, sir, how is this balance different from conservation?
It is see that when you discuss this entropy generation, it is varying from it is not a property. Okay. So it is not a conserved property, but here I'm doing the balance. Why? If it is a reversible process, then this terms, what is the value of these terms? When the process is the reversible process. So what is the value of this?
For a reversible process, 0, sir.
0. And for irreversible process, it is the non-zero. So that's why I have written that it is for your convenience, it is a balance. Okay. If it is a process is a reversible, you can say that it is a 0. Okay. It is not a conservation. It's because of this entropy generation is not a conserved property. Okay. If it is a reversible process, then you can see that these are the property. Okay. And it is a valid for any system and any process. For irreversible process, this is a non-zero, and you know that it is a greater than 0 entropy generation. Okay. So for it is the entropy balance. I am talking about the balance. If you are instead of remembering, okay, for the reversible process, delta system is equal to S in minus S out. Okay, and for the irreversible process, it is a delta system is equal to S in minus S out plus entropy generation. So what I do, I just make a generalized statement. Means you can say that just a balance, and according to your process, you can substitute the corresponding value of the terms. Like here, in case of the reversible process, these terms become the 0. Okay. So
okay,
it's a
sir.
balance. Yeah. But there is nothing called as the conservation of entropy.
Yes, sir. Yesterday itself you said that, right?
Yes, sir. But here for because you need just to remember one balance, I just comparing energy balance with the entropy balance. So you should remember, okay, it is like this. We can write like this. Okay. So that's why here you can see that there is no energy generation, nothing. You know that energy cannot be generated or destroyed. It is only changing from one form to another form. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So it is valid for any system. Any system means it's valid for the open and closed system. Okay. I will, when I write, I will discuss these things. What is the entropy? Like energy, I just comparing. So you should remember. Okay. You know that energy is transferred. It is in the form of heat, work, and mass. Okay. If you remember when I discussed about the energy balance or conservation of energy, I told you that energy is transferred in the form of heat, work, and mass. Okay. But here, the entropy can be transferred in the heat and mass, but not work, because work is the organized form of the energy. Okay, so that's why it's the entropy free, and no entropy is transferred by the work. If you remember, in the last lecture, I told you that entropy is a measure of degree of molecular randomness or disorder, molecular disorder. Okay, but work is a organized form of energy, so there is no disorder. So you can say that work is entropy free. Okay, so that's why entropy is only transferred, while heat is the disorganized form of the energy. Okay, heat is the disorganized form of the energy. So that's why the entropy is always associated with the heat transferred. Okay. So if you compare with the energy balance with the entropy balance, what is the difference? You find that energy can be transferred in the form of heat, work, and mass. Okay. While entropy is only transferred in the form of heat and mass. Okay. So it is associated with the heat and mass. So here this terms on the left hand side terms I have written that is the properties. Okay. So this one is written as a S2 minus S1, means entropy at the final state. S2 means entropy at the final state minus entropy at the initial state. Okay. Now again, entropy transferred is a boundary phenomena because it's associated with the heat transfer, and you know that heat transfer is always occur at the boundary. So entropy is always occur at, means entropy transferred is always occur at the boundary. Okay. So here so here it's written that entropy transfer by the heat is equal to S is equal to Q by T. Okay. So here I have assume that T is constant. Okay. If it is not constant, then we need to do the integration. Okay. So similarly, if suppose the entropy change is not constant, so you need to do the integrations and find the entropy change of the systems. So you can write like this. I'm talking about this terms. Entropy change of the system. If it is not a constant, then you need to do the integration S into delta M. Okay. And you know that delta M is equal to S into rho dV. That rho is the density and V is the volume. Okay. So S into rho dV. So in this way, you can find the entropy change of the system. Okay. Then you need to find these terms. Entropy transfer by the heat, it may be increased. Its directions depends on the heat transfer because the T is the absolute temperatures and it is a constant. Okay. So the quantity Q by T represents the entropy transfer accompanied by heat transfer, and the direction of entropy transfer is the same as the direction of heat transfer, since the thermodynamic temperature T is always a positive quantity. Okay. So the entropy transfer, it depends on the, so suppose if you are giving the heat to the systems, what happens that entropy transfer is the positive quantity. Okay. If heat loss from the systems, then entropy transfer is decreased. Okay. Again, if suppose delta means Q is not constant, so you need to do the integration. So if it is not uniform or not constant, then you do the integration delta Q by T. Okay. And if suppose there is a different, it is not a continuous surface, control surface, it is a discrete, then you can use the summation. If it is a continuous control surface, then you can integrate. Okay. If it is not, then you can consider the summations Qk divided by the Tk. And this T is the temperature at the boundary where you have measured the heat transferred. Okay. So when the temperature T is not constant, the entropy transfer during a process 1, 2 can be determined by integration. Okay. Where Qk is the heat transfer through the boundary at a temperature Tk at location K. So that's why here I use the summations K. Suppose different surface having the different temperatures. Okay. So you can use the summation sign. Okay. So that's why here the summation sign has been used. So you remember that the first law of thermodynamics, it didn't detect distinct or differentiate between the heat transfer and the work. It considered both are the equal. Okay, but the second law tell you that energy interaction that is accompanied by entropy transfer is heat transferred. Okay, if it is and an energy interaction that is not accompanied by entropy transfer is the work. Okay, so these things second law differentiate. If there is an entropy transfer due to the heat transfer, okay, but there is no entropy transfer by the work, because work is the organized form of the energy. Okay, next one is that you know that entropy transfer by the mass flow. So it is the M into S. Here S is the specific entropy. Here S is the specific entropy, and when you find the entropy transfer, so you need to multiply it with the mass. Okay. So the entropy of a system increases by ms when mass enter to the system and decreases when the mass leave the systems. Okay. So this one is it is mass transfer will come when you consider the open systems. Okay. So now here you can see that I have written the entropy balance relation for the closed systems. So closed system, it's you can see that only two things is considered here. One is that what the entropy transfer due to the heat transfer. Okay, these terms. And in closed system there is no mass transfer. So there is no mass transfer. You can see that. And this one is the entropy generations. Okay. But when you consider the entropy balance for the control volume or open system, you can see that this one is that these terms represent the entropy change of the system. Okay, and this one is represent the entropy transfer due to the what heat transfer, and this one is the represent the net entropy transfer due to the mass transfer. You know that in the open system the entropy transferred due to the heat transfer and the mass transfer. That's why here the mass transfer is considered. When you compare it with this one, there is in the closed system there is no mass transfer. That's why we are not considering M into S terms. Okay, but in the open system there is a mass transfer. That's why this terms is represent the net entropy transfer due to the mass flow. Okay, mass transfer. Okay, and this one is the entropy generation. So if you remember this one, you are easily write the entropy balance for any system and any process. You don't need to remember all these equations. So that's why I just compared. Okay, and don't confuse with that conservation of entropy. It is just for your remembering. You should remember that. You don't need to remember too many formulas. For closed system, you can remember this one. For open system, this one. Okay. So in the next,
next class is started, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to take a